make of today's attacks and the planned attacks that it looks like authorities are trying to thwart overseas, Senator?
Well, Elizabeth, as you know, there's an attack on all good people of goodwill who want freedom and democracy and the ability to live their lives just like everyday, good people. And people who want to change our way of life, these radical Islamic terrorists, they are trying to change that way of life. So it's going to take an effort by all of those countries and people, citizens who care, as I do, about freedom and democracy and the ability to live your life to its fullest. And that's what's at stake. So if that means that we have to marry up with the South Koreans and the Russians and the English and the Germans to get that done, then so be it, because this is larger than the traditional wars we've seen.
Senator, do you think U.S. voters are waking up to the threat of these attacks?
Well, I think since we had what happened in California, we see what's happened, obviously, at our colleges and universities, that we're more aware. And that's why I think it's important that we have the ability to have our Second Amendment rights protected, the ability to defend ourselves if we see those things happening. Certainly, we can be a first line of defense. Yeah, I think people are more aware, certainly, and I think with this new administration, we'll have a better approach to it. There'll be no misunderstanding the fact that we are at war with radical Islamic terrorists.
How do you bring together the Democrat voter, the Clinton voter, with the Trump voter, where everybody stands up and with one voice and says enough? This is not a war against your religion. It's a war against elements in your religion who are perverting it and destroying it. What will it take to bring all of all U.S. voters together with the Trump voters who are saying enough? This is wrong. Stop it, and stop it now.
Unfortunately, Liz, what did it take before? It took a 9/11 where we had all of our elected officials standing on the Capitol steps arm in arm and moving forward together. It took that in other tragedies, other wars, other types of massive, problems to have people kind of, wake up and step outside their comfort zone and move forward
together. But wait, Senator, I got to push back.
But,
Paul Krugman, I know you're not. Stay with me, because let's go to that quickly, because we have to turn to the Electoral College in a minute, in a second. Paul Krugman, the New York Times columnist, has said that Donald Trump would like that. Donald Trump pushing back, saying, I don't want thousands of my fellow Americans. I know you don't want that, Senator, either, in order to basically bring my base together and broaden the base. Go ahead, Senator.
Yeah, first of all, I think Donald Trump answered that correctly. What do you say? He's crazy or unhinged or
demented.
Just a nut. He's demented, a nut. Yeah, that makes absolutely no sense. No one's wishing for a tragedy, but sadly, that's what happens when there is a tragedy. We tend to kind of wake up. We're shocked into actually doing and taking action. Hopefully, you'll have leaders like Donald Trump talking about it, the new leaders he's putting in place in Homeland and a lot of other areas who are going to make it more relevant and more in people's everyday lives so we can avoid these things in the future.
Thank you, Senator.